No nonsense, no drama. You control the narrative. We're talking anything and everything Philadelphia sports related and beyond today. But we're not going to do the drama today. We're going to get started in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody. Welcome one, welcome all to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We are live, YouTube, Twitter. You know the drill wherever you're watching, live or on replay. It does not cost you a thing. Hit the buttons wherever they are on your screen. There's a like button. There's a share button. There's a subscribe button. Hit them all. It does not cost you anything. It's free to support your local content creators with clicks, guys. So that's what you got to do. That's what we need you to do, guys. I'd greatly, greatly appreciate it. Today, what do you want to talk about? Isn't that what Cody says? So, what do you want to talk about? Isn't that what Cody says? Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk what you want to talk about. I have no agenda. I put a post out there on Twitter and on YouTube yesterday. What topics, not A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts, do you want to talk about? So we're going to talk about them today. I got a long, long list of what you guys want to talk about. So whatever you want to talk about, drop it in the comments. But first, hit those buttons. Also, vote on our poll question of the day. Which Philadelphia sports team will shock us the most, good or bad, in 2026? And I got the four major teams listed there. So far, the Eagles are winning the early voting at 57%. Phillies 43%. The other teams haven't gotten any votes yet. Good morning, Adam. How you doing today? Hope you. Oh, wrong one. There's Adam. Good morning to you. Good morning, Robert. Mr. Bruce, how we doing? Adam, how you doing? Also, Eagles offensive line. What is expected? And we're going to dive right into it. Offensive line. What is expected and how we can improve? I think the first thing to answer, Adam Worthington, and make sure you like and subscribe and share if you have not yet, is how can we improve? The first thing we could do to improve is just be healthy, right? Have Lane Johnson available the whole year. Cam Jurgens back, not making him the worst center in football. Landon Dickerson, even if he's only got 2 years left in his career, are we going to get 2 good years? I still stand by the fact that health of the offensive line is what held this Eagles team back the most in 2025. Now, we also have to make sure we have high-quality backups because the odds are if 3 guys were hurt all of last year, at least one of them is going to be hurt again this year, right? So we've got to have a better backup plan than Brett Toth and Matt Pryor, and those guys are gone. They've gone elsewhere in free agency. So that's my answer to your question right there. Andy Dalton here, so Tanner McKee must be getting calls on. Yes, the Eagles traded a 2027 7th-round pick for Carolina Panthers quarterback Andy Dalton. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean Tanner McKee is getting traded? Not 100%, but it means they're getting calls, for sure, Adam. It means people are calling Howie Roseman in what is arguably one of the weaker quarterback draft classes over the last decade, and it's a quarterback-driven league. I still stand by it that if Howie Roseman trades him, he's looking for 2027 draft pick compensation, right? He's not looking for something this year, right? So I do believe that the Eagles are looking to move Tanner McKee. Now, some would say one does not mean the other. Now, what I'll say to that, Andy Dalton's scheduled to make $4 million. Our third-string quarterbacks normally make $1 million. On a team that's very, very cash-strapped, spending $4 million on a third-string quarterback is a little insane. So I would be shocked if Tanner McKee doesn't get traded at this point. Now, Andy Dalton, I was looking at his stats. Do you understand? He's 26th all-time in passing yards in NFL history. He is like 500 yards away from passing Joe Montana and entering the top 24. It's like it's insane. The dude's been around forever. He is 39. Thank you very much, Bruce. Yes, watched Fairway to Heaven yesterday. It was awesome, and I feel it up. I'm glad. So it's my passion. I love doing this. This is my morning show, but I love doing Fairway to Heaven. Good morning to you as well, Adam. Absolutely. Flyers win in overtime, 6 points out. Hey, maybe the Flyers are the team that shock us the most in 2026. Maybe they make a playoff run, right? Yeah, I'm going to get really confused with two Adams in the chat. It's going to get really confusing. Kyle McCord is not the answer. Kyle McCord is not on the roster. He is on Green Bay or Minnesota. He's on an NFC North's practice squad now, or roster right now. I guess practice squads don't exist in the offseason. But Kyle McCord is not even in the picture. He disappointed, right? They drafted him last year. No, he's gone. So my guess on what the Eagles are doing at quarterback is they're going to get a third-round pick for Tanner McKee. They're going to have Andy Dalton be number 2, and they're going to draft somebody in the 6th or 7th round, whether it's the Penn State kid or, Nussmeier's a guy that I see a lot of people mocking. They're going to draft somebody else to develop. That's how I see it playing out. Since the Panthers stole Phillips, we took Andy Dalton. They also stole A.J., okay? The Panthers signed A.J. Dillon, that is. So they got Jalen Phillips and A.J. Dillon, and we got Andy Dalton. What a quality trade-off right there. Made my Valspar picks. Connors, JT, and Fitz. Saved Xander for a different time later this season. I think you're good there. I like that. Smart move. Good job there, Bruce. I like that, and good luck to you with the Valspar. Good luck to me as well. Don't sleep on Christian Bazulden. No, never. Never sleep on him. Good morning, Vasak. How you doing? I'm not suggesting sugarcoating shit. This is Howie's only horrible offseason. You can't say that. I disagree wholeheartedly with you that this is a bad offseason for Howie, okay? Because the offseason's a week old. You cannot judge an offseason in the first week or two. Now, if you want to say this September 1st or September 15th, sure. But right now, can't do it. Can't do it. I cannot agree with you that the offseason can be great for any team. Would you like some lemon pound cake? What? Nah, not really. If the Eagles' offensive line comes back healthy, they will be back to one of the tops. Yeah, there's a big if there, Robert, right? There's an if, there's a hope. There's ifs, buts, candies, and nuts. Isn't that what a line once was? Yeah, I mean, I hope. I'm hopeful. I'm hoping the stem cell treatment that they're getting in Colombia works out for them, Robert. But I can't be 100% sure. He played on Panthers, Bengals, and 49ers, now Eagles. I mean, it's been a long time with the Bengals, obviously. But, yeah, man, absolutely agree. The Eagles are drafting a second-round quarterback this year if they trade Tanner. No way. No way the Eagles would waste a second-round pick with all the needs at safety, offensive line, wide receiver, maybe, edge rusher, obviously. No way a second-round quarterback is getting picked this year. Not a chance in the world. Not in this draft class, which is weak as well. Show us your bracket. I did actually fill out one bracket yesterday. We did. I've watched zero basketball. I've done zero research. I picked one team or one bracket on just completely winging it, and I ended up with Florida versus Michigan in the championship game with Florida winning it out. Is Andy Dalton, it's over. Hey, at this point, he's your third-string quarterback, okay? I doubt he will stay your third string because you don't pay $4 million to your third string. But relax, okay? Relax. I feel both shows are the best as I learned. I appreciate that, Bruce. I appreciate that. A.J. Dillon good. Didn't do much yet last year. I'm at work still listening. Hey, I appreciate it, Adam. Is it Worthington? Adam Worthington, I appreciate you. We do this every morning, Monday through Friday, 90 minutes of sports talk. Thank you. Do you see the guys we've been hiring? What guys are you talking about? Like, what has been so atrocious that is not going to be added to? You want to say you're a little concerned about Sean Mannion's inexperience? That is a concern for sure. But outside of that, I don't see anything that has happened yet that you should be so worked up over yet. Guys, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. It's free to do. Do you like Afro Man? What? Yeah, we might draft a quarterback in the 5th round, 6th round, a day 3 quarterback for sure. It's a very strong possibility. What's up, Yas? This has actually been a better start of the offseason so far than last year. More players re-signed and picked up Woolen as an actual addition. Need to draft well. Obviously, I will wait till I see the draft to really start evaluating this offseason. We do need at least one day 1 impact player. Absolutely need it, okay? Absolutely need a day 1 impact player, okay? Whether it's in round 1 or 2, on the edge or at safety. Do McKee get traded? Like I said, the Tanner McKee or the Andy Dalton trade signals that Howie Roseman is getting phone calls on Tanner McKee. And he wants to contemplate trading Tanner McKee, okay? He wasn't going to trade Tanner McKee without an option lined up. Sam Howell already is off to Big D, right? So he wanted an option. He's got option A now. If somebody calls and says, hey, we got a 3rd, that could turn into a 2nd next year if you want. Okay, we got Dalton. We could do that now. March Madness does start today. Like I said, I got Florida versus Michigan in the championship. Florida winning. Well, so are you. Stop making Woolen fell from the sky. He didn't. Look, I was very honest on the Reek Woolen. There are definitely flaws in his game. He admitted that there's flaws in his game as well. So I'm not the one making Tariq Woolen out to be the savior. He's a step up from Adoree Jackson, but he's far, far from anywhere near Cooper DeJean or Quinion Mitchell. What 3 golfers would I have picked for Valspar in a survivor pool? I mean, I like the Fitzpatrick move. I love the JT move. I would have probably gone down the list to someone like Rio Hisatsune or Patrick Rogers or Mac Meisner with my 3rd golfer, but I think using Connors as your 3rd golfer is perfectly fine. Come on. Well, that's what it was. It was a pop-up on my screen. Phil should do an all-time golfers bracket. All-time in what sense? Just straight up best of all time? I could do that. I mean, it would be Tiger versus Jack in the end. Other than half-ass Woolen, the rest are horrible. Okay? You're entitled to your opinion. I think you're overreacting on March 19th. Missed the golf show. Was at work till 10, then favorite. Yeah, absolutely. It's all good. It's all good. Duke is going to win it all, even though I don't watch it. Yeah, I haven't watched 1 second of basketball. None. I think Phillips got the biggest free agent contract. How did that happen? Dude, I was looking at it. Top 2 contracts given out this offseason. Jalen Phillips and Alec Pierce. Insanity, mister. Insanity there. And honestly, it just proves how weak this free agent class is as well. Everyone's talking that this is a weak draft class, right? Well, it must be a weak free agent class when Phillips and Pierce are your top 2 paid guys. Draft a quarterback in round 4 to replace McKee as the future backup. I'm pushing it off to 5 or 6 or 7, but yeah. We're not talking A.J. Brown today, but good morning, little G. Can't say crash. What are your favorite Dave Matthews songs? Their version of All Along the Watchtower is the best version of All Along the Watchtower, period. So that would be number 1, without a doubt. Crush, very good. Warehouse, fantastic song. All the old school. Hollywood was a nice pickup. Hollywood was an upgrade. Hollywood Brown was an upgrade over Jahan Dotson, for sure. The McKeesters will be sad. Yes, the McKeesters will cry their eyes out. Good morning, elephant in the room. How you doing? Nova makes a run. Penn wins the first game. I'd have to double check because I don't even know. I just wung it with my March Madness bracket. I know I had them winning 1 game. I might have had them making the Sweet 16. I'm not sure. I still hate Nova. The Nova Knicks sucks. Dude, ads are part of the game. Got to make money doing this somehow. You ain't paying me, Marky Mark. You're not giving me money. You haven't got me a job anywhere hosting shows for money. So the ads are part of the process. And they're not that bad. Little worried, as you said, his putting wasn't the best, but I hope Connors does good. Valspar, Copperhead's a good course for Corey Connors. It really is. So I don't hate it. You control the narrative. Absolutely. What do you want to talk about? I root SU, but try be axe. What? Should do a core 12 bracket. I should do a core 12 bracket, but I'd have to vote on it myself. I'd have to create the bracket and vote on it. Let's talk about how Ridley Scott's career is comparable to an Ozempic before and after photo. Dude, I still don't know if I trust that stuff, man. The side effects, man. The long-term effects of those shots, man. When AJ being moved, not till post-June 1st, but we're not talking AJ Brown. McKee stinks, what I saw. Look, I don't disagree with you. The McKeisters will, but I don't disagree with you. I don't think he stinks. I don't think he's a sure thing. Got to get a Hollywood Brown jersey. I don't know about that. I'm not wasting money on a Hollywood Brown jersey. The movie The Draft should have been about the Eagles. The Browns expecting to be successful is fictional. Yes, that is Emmanuel, very, very accurate. Ridley Scott's career is more like a Car Shield commercial post-heist. Wow. I've noticed a lot more Hollywood A-listers doing more and more commercials, and I'm not sure why. It's kind of weird. Now you know what the birds think of Tanner. I don't think it explains what they think of Tanner. I think it explains what the rest of the league thinks of Tanner, and the rest of the league is interested in Tanner. I think that's what the Andy Dalton trade means. The Eagles now, by the way, Keith, so we know Omar Cooper's been scheduled. 2 more big top-end guys have been scheduled top 30 visits, okay? I can't read my handwriting. The Penn State guard, Vega, is it Ione? And safety / nickel corner, is it Javon or Jalen Kilgross? All have been scheduled. All guys that are going to go in the first or second round. So they've got a safety, a guard, and a wide receiver all scheduled for visits publicly announced. So that tells you something right there. We're going to run our first mock draft live on this show tomorrow, Keith. We're going to do you guys pick. Each pick on the Eagles, okay? That's what we're going to do. No trades tomorrow. We're going to go just the spots that we're at, best, based off of what's available. You guys will pick it. Then next week we'll do another, and we'll run it with trades, okay? So don't forget about that. We draft quarterback in the 5th. We go in offensive line with our first pick. I hope we go offensive line with our first pick. Would not be shocked if it's edge, because we still have a barren wasteland at edge. Safety is still a massive need for this team as well. What about I've got all the Twitter ones here. I don't have any of the YouTube ones up. You're gonna have to remind me which one was the one that I laughed my ass off. I forget that now. The Browns and Eagles might have similar records in their divisions. The Browns are going to do okay this coming season. No, that is ludicrous. Ludicrous. Everyone's bracket would be busted day one like always because of upsets. Absolutely. I just randomly picked some upsets at them. I just randomly made the bracket. I know I went Michigan State Final Four because Michigan State always makes good bracket runs. That's it. The Penn State guard looks like an Eagle. Everything I read about him yesterday, Keith, after I saw he was announced, I don't try to do too much research on all the players. I try to do the research on who the Eagles bring in. Because outside of last year, 9 times out of 10, they only draft guys they bring in for meetings, right? Campbell wasn't a meeting last year. Maybe that's why, he didn't have the immediate impact. But this guy looks like the real deal. From everything I read, Keith, though, Vega does not look like a guy that will last to pick 23. So if you really like the Penn State guard, you probably got to trade up to get him. And if they do draft him, that pretty much signals the end of Landon Dickerson here in a year or two. Don't forget, we saw McKee play, and he was asked, look, we know. I saw it. Kelly Osborne went from chunky, rebellious teen to decently attractive woman, then she looks like something out of like a horror movie now. And I'm not one to criticize looks. I can't read. The thing is, I don't even know how to spell his name. I kind of was jotting notes down in a hurry yesterday. I can't even read what I wrote down here. Michael Carter is our safety this year. They are going to give Michael Carter a chance at safety. They were already testing him there in practice last year. So we know it's coming. We know it's an option for sure. Howie will go best available. We know that. There is definitely a chance he goes best available, but he's going to go best available at certain positions. certain positions only. He'll go best available outside of line, safety, and edge. He's not going to go best available if the best available is a quarterback or a cornerback. It's going to be best available in certain positions. Yeah, I was having a fun day yesterday, messing around yesterday. It was a boring day around the house. Lost 50 pounds on the Ozempics in 3 months. Now women flirt with me everywhere I go. Just don't lift that shirt up. You got a lot of little extra saggy stuff there hanging, right? Had a clean 7 innings for Lakewood yesterday. I don't even know who that is. I do know Andrew Painter pitched 4 shutout innings, giving up only 1 hit and 1 walk for the Phillies yesterday. I do know that Andrew Painter pitched a phenomenal outing yesterday. So that's good. Can I say I love all the Eagles, AJ to the Panthers post yesterday? I know. I love it. AJ did. They're not lies. This is not fake news, Big Al. AJ did go to the Panthers yesterday. It was just AJ Dillon. That's a little easier. Mesidor, who's he? I don't have him on my list yet. The guard from Penn State is an absolute beast. Again, don't think he will be there at 23. So if you want him, you would have to trade up for him. But the fact that the Eagles are bringing him in for a visit, for a top 30 visit, tells me they're interested, right? Also tells me they're concerned about the longevity of Landon Dickerson. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Howard Eskin, Jody Mack, and Rob Cherry are the Delco version of Big Al, Matty B, and me. Which one am I? I'm not. I mean, I would guess Matty B would be the Howard Eskin. Jody Mack, isn't Mack the beer drinker? That would be me. Rob Cherry's the best, most respectable. That would also be me. But that was good. I thought that was hilarious. Yes, no, we're not doing the AJ talk. We're talking AJ Dillon, but that might be it. Since Dillon is gone, so they draft a running back in the draft or get now. They still got Tank Bigsby. They still got Will Shipley. They'll bring some guys in for training camp bodies. They could go in theory with 3 guys right out of camp. They got Cam Latu as a fullback / tight end hybrid as well. So, yeah, I doubt they would draft one. Steen is only under contract through 26 as well. Vega's a beast. Look at Rutledge at interior offensive line as well. Looking forward to the draft tomorrow. Can't wait to do the mock draft tomorrow with you guys picking the players. David, obviously, you know a lot more about these guys than I do. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it plays out tomorrow. We'll see how it plays out for the Eagles as well. I'm shocked that they didn't give at least a 1-year extension to Tyler Steen, to be honest with you. So there's that as well. Woolen, Carter, DeJean, Mitchell, and either Epps or Drew for our backfield doesn't sound too bad. Like, I don't know how I feel about Carter being locked in as a starter just yet, Adam. Never played the position. Nickel cornerbacks do transition at times pretty well. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was a nickel cornerback that transitioned to safety pretty well. I would prefer Epps and Drew, with Carter being the 3rd guy at this point. Yeah. As long as you got Q and Coop, though, the rest works out, right? He's from Miami. Okay, gotcha. Painter looked fantastic. I wouldn't know. I just know what the box scores say and the few clips I saw online, because obviously they don't televise these preseason games very frequently. Meister's the edge from Miami. Is that there's an edge in the early that's around the Eagles' first pick always in mock drafts that they say is a little old for a rookie, I think. I've run so many mock drafts lately, I can't remember and keep track of them all now, K1. I do think the Eagles are very, I know we want an offensive lineman. I know we want Lane's replacement. But, man, an edge in the first round makes so much sense. It really, truly does. Visits aren't necessarily indicative of a team's going to draft. I know. But outside of last year, a good percentage of our draft picks in the first, second, and third round have come from guys we've brought in for visits. I saw the stats. Somebody did the numbers yesterday. Very high percentage of it. Yeah, don't forget about Tank Bigsby. Tank Bigsby is important. Guys, hit the like button. It's free. Subscribe. Share. Do what you got to do. Jody Mack ain't much of a beer drinker. Glenn Macnow's the beer guy. Gotcha. Always confused the Macs, right? Macnow and Jody Mack, two different people there. I actually was at the filming of the season finale of What's Brewing PA a couple years ago. That's cool. Sorry, my bad on which Mac was Mac. There's so many different Macs out there. It's not easy being a sex symbol. Yeah, is that what it is? I don't know if that is what it is. He totally left out Makuba. Drew Makuba, no, we mentioned Drew Makuba. Drew Makuba, to me, is the starter, as long as he's healthy. He's the only lock at the safety room to start at this point. Tyler Steen experiment is over. Why is that? Why is the Tyler Steen experiment over? Tyler Steen was our most consistent and only fully healthy lineman all year last year. Was he great? No. Was he bad? No. He was okay. He was solid. His first year as a starter in the NFL, in year 3. I don't think the experiment's over. I don't think the experiment's going to give you these crazy results either. I don't say it. I don't see the experiment being over there. You got no edges. We've got 2. One that I'm very excited about in Jalen Hunt, but the edge room is very weak at this point. There is no depth at edge. And depth at edge and an improvement at edge is extremely important. And you got a better chance at getting a day 1 impact player at edge in the first round than you do tackle or guard when you've already got your starting offensive line set. I know what you mean, yeah. Philadelphia Flyers have tied their points for last year with 15 games left to play. Talkin and Danny have done a much better job turning things around. Yeah, I mean, I still say, Anthony, and I think that's a valid comment from you on the Flyers, I still say I want to see the Flyers make the playoffs. I still want this young core to get that playoff experience. I still want to see what year 3 of Matvei Michkov will look like next year. He's been the biggest disappointment probably. But we got to remember he's so damn young. So, look, Flyers are taking a step forward. Is it a big step forward? I don't know. But they have taken a step forward. Does Nolan Smith stay around, and how much does he play? Look, Nolan Smith is here. They'll probably pick up his 5th-year option at some point this offseason. They're not going to extend him this offseason like they probably will Jalen Carter. Nolan Smith has a lot to prove. Nolan Smith has been inconsistent. He's been banged up. He's disappeared at times. When healthy, he sets the edge. He plays the run at a very solid clip. This is going to be a massive year, Adam, for Nolan Smith and his career in Philly. Massive year. Don't know if they grab a right tackle this draft in fear of losing a year of the rookie contract. They may want a more versatile swing. And there's a couple that you can have that fit this profile out in round 2. There absolutely is. Jalen Hunt does not stink. That's a bold lie. He's still got a lot to grow and prove. But for a second-year player, he had a great year. He was our best edge last year. Philadelphia Freedom. Philadelphia Freedom. One thing I've learned about the Flyers, don't celebrate too early. That's a fair thing to say. Big win for the Flyers. Stayed up for the whole game. Glad we won. I should have. I was exhausted yesterday, Rick. Turned the TV off and then never fell asleep till like 12:30. I just laid in bed and tossed and turned. I don't know what went wrong with me last night, but I just could not crash last night. Felt like I was, but couldn't. Flyers would have a 5-point lead for the second wild card if they were in the West. Not their fault that no one ever loses in the East. Didn't even look at that. Pimping ain't easy. That is for sure. I've been telling cats in my group chat that Steen was the most dependable guy in the line last year. It kills me when Steen gets criticized when Juergens can barely get out. Look, see, the thing is, I agree. Steen was, I think you phrased it right. Steen was the most dependable guy last year. Wasn't the best, wasn't the worst, was never really hurt. Now, I criticize Cam Juergens plenty, okay? Cam Juergens was, out of, I forget how many stats, out of 42 centers, the top 42 centers that played snap-wise last year in the NFL, Cam Juergens was ranked 42nd out of those. So Tyler Steen was dependable. I'm shocked they haven't extended him yet. I'm shocked they haven't done anything with that contract. I mean, it's not an expensive contract. He's on the hook for $4 million this year. You could extend him and probably save even more cap space if you did, even if it was just a one-year extension. Nolan Smith is football. What? Still having a hard time getting over the Flyers botching the Cutter situation. The guy's a generational talent, and Briere ruined that for the Flyers. He won it out, though, didn't he? Now, listen here, young fella. Beer, that stuff will hops and barley. Oh, my God. Here we go with my more diabetes talk here. Diabetes talk. But Wilford Brimley is always welcome in the chat. Diabetes or not. Saw a hilarious AI video, Wilford Brimley, like, chugging a jar of sugar the other day. It kind of was very comical, knowing his representation on this show on the regular. So that was pretty funny. But anyway, we're talking a lot of different things here. Cutter's hands are great, but he cost the Ducks the game last night trying a between-the-legs pass on a 2-on-1. Awful turnover. Yeah, again, should have watched it. Didn't watch it, or the end of it. So, won it out because the Flyers forced to play in the minor league instead of bringing him up constantly. Look, I mean, yeah, that happens with a lot of sports to an extent. Players get frustrated with that, Rick. Don't forget, I can look up your edge stats. I know you can, and I've told you. I don't know why you argue with me on edge. We agree on edge, man, chatter. Hey, when is TMZ's UFL breakdown coming? Oh, my God, don't get him started, Big Al. Please don't get him started on the UFL. Did not want to play for the Flyers. He literally won't even answer questions about it. Yeah, F him. That's right, Anthony. He might be a phenomenal talent, but he might be also a phenomenally D-bag of a person. How you feel about our tight end 2 situation? Johnny Wilson converted to tight end if he can improve his blocking. I'm putting Johnny Wilson off here in the distance. Tight end, wide receiver, whatever. Johnny Wilson is coming back from a really devastating injury. We have no clue what Johnny Wilson is even going to be like as a human, an athlete, let alone a football player. Okay, Adam? So Johnny Wilson's way off here. Okay? I'm not writing him off, but I'm not counting on him for one thing. When you look at Grant Calcaterra's contract, okay, only $700K guaranteed was what the number was reported on 2 days ago, okay? Not a big number. The Eagles are going to draft a tight end in the 3rd round, and he's going to be brought in to compete with Grant Calcaterra for our tight end 2 position. There's a very high likelihood that Grant Calcaterra does not make this roster based off of the contract he got. He's going to have to prove himself. Why they even gave him a prove himself contract, beyond me. But my guess is it's going to be Dallas Goedert, a draft pick, and Johnny Munn as our tight ends next year. And that's better than Dallas Goedert, Grant Calcaterra, and Johnny Munn. And will go down as one of the all-time Philly sports F-ups. See, I don't know if it will go down as an F-up because he forced his way out. Now, forcing him to go to the minors, I don't remember if he was deserving of coming right up at his young age. I don't really know. But you know what? I can't say it was one of the big F-ups because he forced his way out of here. It was Briere and Torts that were the D-bags in the Cutter situation. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think all parties involved had some doing in that situation. Kickoff a week from Friday, maybe. Maybe. Are they having a lockout or something? Are there problems in the UFL? I agree. Grant Calcaterra will be gone. I would say 80% likely that Calcaterra, unless the draft falls in a certain way and we don't get one of the top 5 or 6 tight ends in the draft, unless that happens, yeah, I totally agree with you. Today is UFL cut day. Ooh, you must be a pretty damn bad football player to get cut from the UFL. Piss poor front office moves or lack thereof are the reasons that the Flyers and Sixers haven't won a championship in 50 years. Shit rolls downhill. Look, there's no arguing with you that. All right? I mean, this Flyers and Sixers organizations have been run poorly mostly for a long, long time. He only forced out because the front office wouldn't play him. Oh, I'm sure they had a reason, Rick. Also, the Ducks play a wide-open system, so Cutter gets way more chances. He would not be scoring like that with the Flyers. Shout out, Big Al. Shit ownership is the problem with the Sixers. Absolutely. And that was one of the topics asked on the Twitter question. What do you want to talk about? How can we force the Sixers to sell? How can we force Josh Harris out? Isn't there like some AI video we can create of him doing something bad? The league already forced Sam Hinkie out. The league already forced Colangelo on us. So why can't the league force Josh Harris out? I mean, that would be a pretty awesome thing to happen for this organization, right? Wouldn't it be great if the NBA forced Josh Harris out? We forced Josh Harris out? Similar to Hextall, stay the course line. He better do his job this offseason, start trying to win with more urgency. Yeah, this is going to be, it was always the 2026 offseason. That's what they were always building to, right? Briere is a horrendous front office executive. TBD, I'm still teetering. You know, the seesaw is still going back and forth on that. All-time Philly sports F-ups. That's a long list. Yes, all-time, I'm writing it down. Philly F-ups. That's a Twitter post that will blow up right there for sure. The UFL and the XFL are one thing now, for sure. But, man, all-time Philly sports F-ups, there's a long list. T.O. obviously jumps out at me. That was a big F-up for sure. Chip Kelly getting player personnel, big F-up for sure. The 2012 Phillies offseason, big F-up for sure. There's a lot of them. There's a lot. Rich Kotite hiring, big F-up for sure. There's a lot of them, lot of them. Flyers wanted Cutter to play 2 years of college. Given their cap situations, Flyers could maximize their window. Interests didn't align. Yeah, I don't know if that's an F-up. That's just situationally. Will Valparaiso make Sweet 16? I don't remember if I picked them. Root and Duke? I never root for the Dukies. I never root for the Dukies. Never. I used to buy Bud from a UFL player back in the day before you get it in a store. So you've got to be a drug dealer. You got to be the weed supplier to play in the UFL. Yeah, that sums it all up. What's up, Johnson? How we doing this morning? Hope you are well. Cutter didn't want to play for Torts. That could be part of it. I was still in shock that Torts was even hired in the first place. What's your prediction on Jalen Carter's sacks this season? He's really coming along great with his surgery and shoulders. He's moving great, getting more explosive. Davis' contract has him motivated. Look, first and foremost, this is not a knock on you. This is just a knock on everybody. Yes, Jalen Carter is working out. We do not have to celebrate every time an athlete gets a video posted of him working out in the offseason. Every athlete does it, okay? Just so you know. Look, I have high expectations for Jalen Carter. I have not written him off. I am concerned about the shoulders holding up long term. But I expect him to have a great season. I hope he has a great season. I never really worry about the sack number for defensive tackles and nose tackles. You know, even if he gets 6 or 7, that's great. As long as he's getting pressure in the backfield, eating up double teams, etc. I don't think you'll ever see a season where Jalen Carter gets double-digit sacks. I just don't. Ryan Howard extension. That was, I don't think the Ryan Howard extension was an F-up. It was not a bad deal because when you go back and look at it, he kind of signed like a Jalen Hurts type extension in the sense it was below market value. Okay? You look at the Ryan Howard extension and when it was signed, there was Prince Fielder, got a bigger deal. Andres Galarraga first baseman still? Albert Pujols got a massively bigger deal. There were 3 first basemen that all signed bigger deals. And Ryan Howard was an MVP player, was still healthy at that time. The only thing that sped up his decline was an unexpected Achilles tear that he could never fully recover from. He was like 3rd, 4th, highest paid first baseman, hitting 50 home runs a year. It wasn't an F-up. Not predicting an Achilles tear, that was the F-up. That's my opinion. Danny has been amazing, such a great hire. Flyers cap was a disaster. Now they have money to spend and a ton of picks. Plus the Vlader signing was incredible. I mean, it's still TBD, okay? He's still got to get us over the hump. At least like a second-round playoff run or something like that. All right, Anthony? I don't agree with bashing him totally, like Rick. I don't also want to give him his flowers yet, like you. I'm still teetering. Not drafting Justin Jefferson was a big F-up. That was for sure. I don't agree on the Ryan Howard extension being bad at the time. I don't. The Phillies firing Joe Girardi is a huge F-up. What? What? I mean, yes, we got Rob Thompson, who we're stuck with, but Rob Thompson hiring him might have been the big F-up in the first place. Do I like Christian Latnier? I mean, I don't care. The Andrew Bynum trade is interesting because on one hand, it started the process. On the other hand, it was a really big mistake, right? Namdi was a big F-up for sure. I would almost say Byron Maxwell was a bigger F-up, but yeah, Namdi was a big F-up. I know it's March 19th, but I predict the Eagles will win the East. I mean, I don't think there's a conversation to be had there, Robert. They are for sure the favorite to win the NFC East. Without a doubt, the Eagles are the favorite to win the NFC East. You could have said that on March 10th and I would have agreed with you. Getting high in the Benz, what? What's Joe Girardi doing right now? Is he doing it? He's probably working in TV somewhere, right? I don't think he's got any jobs in any front offices or dugouts, does he? You know, the whole dream team itself. Yeah, exactly. The NBA owners won't get rid of Josh Harris. The billionaires all go to the same. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Predict 6 sacks and top 5 in pressure rate for Jalen Carter. I think it's fair. It was just bad luck. Yeah, the Ryan Howard extension was bad luck. Not a bad decision. Not an overpay. Just bad luck. Sometimes that shit happens, right? Sometimes it does. His Achilles wasn't a degenerative issue that had been creeping up for a while. It just happens. It's not similar like giving Joel Embiid his extension a year and a half ago. That was an F-up. You saw the degenerative knees and the back and the injuries. Ryan Howard was a relatively healthy player for the most part. Okay? Who Afro Man is? I mean, I know the name. I don't know what that has to do with anything that we're talking about. Howard's numbers had already begun to plummet. Plummet's a stretch because he always pulled the ball into the shift. Man, could you imagine him now with no shift? Whew. Ben Simmons signing was, choosing Jimmy Butler over Brett Brown and Ben Simmons was a big F-up. I don't know if you could have gotten away without drafting Ben Simmons where we did, or when we did, but yeah. I smoke Big Bud. I go to High Point. What? Yeah, whatever. Philly's big F-up was not re-signing Jason Worth, who brought balance to the lineup. Yeah, I mean, they weren't going to give him the contract that he got from the Nationals. What was it, like 7 years, 100-some million? At the time, that was a big contract. And a massive overpay. The Jason Worth signing with the Nationals is like when we signed Jim Thome before we were ready, but changed the culture of the organization at the time. And the Phillies weren't prepared to do that. Problem is, they went from Jason Worth to Raul Ibanez, and that shifted the team dynamic a little bit, and that's when the team went down. Howard's contract was up in 11, and he was going to be 32. It was an F-up. You pay people for what they can give you, not what they did. The shift was changing the game. It was obvious. They didn't sign him, though, in 2011. They signed him early. They gave him his extension. They were trying to get ahead of the curve, which Howie Roseman does all the time. Okay? I don't know if it was as big of a mistake. It is now in hindsight. But I don't think it was as big of a mistake at the time as a lot of fans make it out to be. That's my opinion. The Flyers will make the playoffs in the next year. They might make it this year, Robert. I hope they make it this year. MLB Network. What about MLB Network? Exactly. How about trading away Bobrovsky? That is a big F-up. The Flyers trading away Bobrovsky, who has now gone on to what? He's won a Stanley Cup. I think he's won, I forget what the goalie award, the goalie MVP award or whatever it is. He's won that, I think, at least twice. Do Do the Flyers have a Stanley Cup run in them over the last 10 or so years if Bobrovsky doesn't get traded away? Do the Flyers go into full tank rebuild mode for a decade if they don't trade away Bobrovsky? There's a lot of big ifs or what ifs if they don't make that mistake. Who will win High Point versus Wisconsin? Wisconsin will win that game. And I know I predicted that one for sure. Signing Casty was an F up. Yes, no. The problem with signing Casty was then they went out and signed Kyle Schwarber, which made Casty have to move to right field, which changed the whole offseason. I don't know if it was an F up per se. It wasn't smart, but it was what it was. It was not about the Achilles. It was about the shift and its impact on the game. You could see it in the 2009 World Series and in 2010. So because of the shift, you weren't going to keep your MVP first baseman that was hitting how many home runs a year at the time? I mean, you weren't getting rid of him in 2010. You weren't. You weren't letting him walk. Now, maybe they gave him a little too much money because in hindsight of the injury. But I don't think the shift was going to stop you from keeping him long term. So Ruben Amaro tried to get ahead of the curve. That's all he tried to do. Literally just found your channel this morning. Already one of the greatest takes on Philly sports by far. Hey, I appreciate it. We do this every day. My sports knowledge teeters on a thing. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's bad. I don't always have the greatest takes. But we do no rage baiting, no hot taking. Tell all your friends. Tell everybody you know. We're trying to make this channel the biggest, the best there is in Philly. We do so much. And we do a lot more content during the week and during football season even more. So make sure everybody's locked in, Adam, to this channel. I've been doing this show for November will be 5-year anniversary of me starting this show. So I've been doing this show for a while, but on my own channel for only about 1.5 years now. Avro Man won his civil case versus cops. Yeah, cool. Good for him. I hated the shift and the runner on second needs to go. Look, I hated them banning the shift. I think banning the shift was one of the big mistakes in baseball. Flyers are not making the playoffs. They're 6 points back with 15 games to go. It's not a lock what's going to happen there. It was Burrell to Ibanez and Worth to Don Brown. Gotcha. But the big money you could have used on Worth went to Ibanez. Okay? So you could have gone Worth and Don Brown instead of Ibanez and Don Brown, I guess in theory. Big time. Downtown Don Brown. I always forget about that boy. The untouchable of untouchables. Oh, Joe Girardi works for MLB Network. I saw you say MLB Network. I'm like, what? Oh, Joe Girardi works there. Gotcha. I thought they did away with MLB Network. Vezina is the goalie award. Okay, gotcha. Always forget that. Yeah. The Flyers are forever a team of what ifs. That is true. Just think about it. What if they didn't trade away Peter Forsberg for Eric Lindros? Peter Forsberg won how many Stanley Cups in Colorado? Just think about that. Let's go way back in time. We don't get the Legion of Doom. We get Peter Forsberg instead. Interesting, right? I get the Thompson frustration, but if he is the F up, then the Phillies manager not named Dallas Green or Charlie Manuel is an F up. I just think keeping him as long as they have is the F up. I am harsh on Thompson. I know. Carson Wentz is re-signing with the Vikings. Breaking news. So what are they doing? It's Carson Wentz, it's Kyler Murray, and J.J. McCarty in Minnesota. What's up, Mitchie Pooh? That's interesting. Interesting. He's not going to the Jets. That's interesting. Very, very interesting. Shout out Adam. He don't tell. Yeah, exactly. Bobrovsky, Stolitz, and Lynn tell you all you need to know about the Flyers' ability to judge and develop goalie talent. I mean, we could go back 50 years. You know what I mean? It's been a problem. STT Sports, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. That's right. No Montreal screw job here, Freddie Defo, right? Signing Scotty Jetpacks was an F up. Absolutely. Yes. I get why they did it. It was just misplaced. Oh, thank you very much, Adam. I appreciate that. Muchas gracias. Thank you. It means a lot. It humbles me when people do that. It does. The Phillies' biggest F up was trading away their farm system prospects for patchwork pitching staff. No, because nobody in their minor league system that they traded away amounted to jack shit in the majors. What if the Phillies don't trade away Grover, Cleveland, Alexander? Yeah. I'm not sure we lost any of those trades, which brings up a much bigger problem. Bad player development. The last guy that ever developed players in the Phillies organization was Ed Wade. It's not an F-up, but I'd argue the most underappreciated person in the Phillies organizational history over the last 50 years is Ed Wade, because we do not get the 2008 World Series without Ed Wade, right? So, yeah. Ed Wade, drafted and helped develop, Chase Utley, Jimmy Rollins, Cole Hamels, right? And then the guy they passed, there was a guy who was like our head of development and scouting at the time. I forget his name. He ended up going to Kansas City as their GM when we passed over him for Ruben Amaro. I know there's Pat Gillick in the middle there, but we passed over him. He went to the Royals and built the Royals World Series team. The biggest mistake was going from Ed Wade to Pat Gillick to Ruben Amaro instead of Ed Wade, Pat Gillick to the other guy. I can't remember his name, though, at this moment. So many F-ups. So many. Cliff Lee trades was terrible. Filippo Mott is who we got. That was the big name, right? I think he pitched in the World Baseball Classic, Filippo Mott. Didn't he? I think he came out of retirement for that. Would it made a difference if the Phillies ever traded Mike Schmidt? Probably not. Well, in 80 it would have. The Phillies don't trade away Grover. Maybe they would continue to draw fans. Oh, my God. I got Arizona or Michigan taking it. So I did my one bracket. I'm not a college sports fan, Adam. You'll learn that on this channel. I don't watch much, if any. I've watched zero college ball this year. It's been a year of flux in my life this year, last 6 months or so. Watched zero college basketball. But I did go last night at like 9 o'clock. I went on the ESPN.com app, filled out my bracket. I ended up with Michigan versus Florida, with Florida winning in the championship game. It was just a random thing, and I picked Florida over Michigan because there's 3 massive Michigan fans in the chat on the regular. So I went Florida just to counter them. Mike Jackson absolutely wound up being something in the majors. So did Julio Franco. We're talking all time. I thought we were just talking about the recent last 20 years on Philly prospects, okay? Who was the Phillies' best GM? Ed Wade, probably. Philippe Aumont pitched for Canada, not Team France. Did Team France even have a team? Danny Tartable was an awful signing, got hurt. What do you have, 4 at-bats his year with the Phillies, that 1 year with the Phillies? Florida. Yeah, I got Florida. Who was the other guy that then went elsewhere and built the Royals? Because that was the guy that should have gotten the job. And he left because I almost remember him talking about, at some interview that he felt insulted that he got passed over for the job because, yeah, Raj was probably a Nepo hire. Probably was. Been in the organization his whole life. And now what? I mean, Ruben Amaro was such a bad GM that he didn't even succeed as a first base coach. Like, he was terrible. I think if you watch college sports and knew about it, you would get more people that way. Yeah, I just can't get into college sports, man. I don't like it. I don't fake it. I fake it till I make it, but I don't fake knowledge on sports. I only talk about things I know about or watch or care about. Philly's best GM, the guy that Bob Carpenter hired that constructed the Whiz Kids, maybe. Danny Tartable played 1 game, fouled a ball off his foot, and ended his career, basically. Lance Parrish. Yeah. Can we put I don't know. Time will tell. Paul Owens, best GM, traded for Steve Carlton, signed Pete Rose. Yeah, I guess so. Hall of Fame player, I just can't remember his name. Yeah, I don't know. Hill plays foul ball, ended Tartable's career. Yes. Phil takes it or fakes it. He just rarely makes it. Yeah. That's true. I don't really watch college basketball either, but if it's on, I'll watch it. Yeah. I just can't get into it. Just can't get into it. What about Herb Pennock? There's a Pennock Field in Kennett Square named after him. Used to play in the men's softball league there all the time back in the day. Roy Hinson, yeah, there's another mistake. Guys, it's almost the top of the hour right here on Trending in the AM, almost 9 a.m. We've got 16, 17 likes on the video with 20 votes on the poll question of the day. So make sure, if you have not, you hit the like button. Make sure you share this out and make sure you're subscribed and vote on the poll question. Which Philadelphia sports team will shock us the most in a good or bad way in 2026? The Phillies have gotten 35% of the vote. The Sixers, 10%. Eagles, 45%. And the Flyers, 10%. Interesting. Shocking. Something going on there. But that's what we've got on the poll question of the day. We're talking whatever you guys want to talk about. Right now, it seems like you guys want to talk about the F-ups. Tomorrow, we will start our first mock draft. First mock draft. Fan-picked mock draft tomorrow. And remember what happened to Freddie Galvis in 07? What happened to him in 07? I forget. The only championship the Phillies have won was led by homegrown talent. Phillies never win with hired guns and free agents. We've got a lot of homegrown talent right now. The daycare hasn't won us jack shit, mister. So I don't know if I buy into the homegrown talent thing as much. Of course we want to talk about the F-ups. I don't want to talk about A.J. Brown drama. I want to talk about what you guys want to talk about other than that. And, of course, you guys changed the topic. And that's fine, because I said you control the narrative, K1, today. We'll go back to my narrative, but we'll go to your narrative. And it's the F-ups. It's fine. Instead of talking about the biggest success stories, we'll talk about the biggest F-ups, right? Sure. The Eagles, with a 10-win season, the Flyers, Sixers are done. Phillies can't predict yet. That would be a big shock, 10 wins for the Eagles, because I don't think that's anywhere near what they're going to do. But, yeah, Carpenter and Harper are two of the very most important people in Phillies history. It's accurate. Somebody else already dropped that in the chat, went to the Vikings. Kind of shocked he went there, because he could have gone elsewhere and had a chance to compete for a starting job. So, yeah. With Kyler Murray, with J.J. McCarty there. What's Carson Wentz, the third stringer there? It's a little weird. With the exception of his very final season, Freddie Galvis was cooked once he hit 30. He was always a very underappreciated defensive player, Freddie Galvis, for sure. He was always one of those good players on bad Phillies teams. I said before the Phillies will not win more than 90. I got them right around 90, but we'll see. I don't need to write it down. I'm going to remember your conversations with me. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. The question will be, will you admit it when you're wrong? Because you will be the one that's wrong, not me. The homegrown talent was Mike Arbuckle. That's who I was thinking. He had no people skills and therefore never became a GM. No, I'm pretty sure Mike Arbuckle went to the Royals and had a massive success. Maybe not as the GM, but he definitely was key in the Royals making their World Series runs back in the early 2000s. Or the early 2010s. He was the one that should have been the GM, not Ruben Amaro. Maybe he had no skill set with people. I thought he was the GM. Maybe he became the assistant GM with the Royals, but I know he went to the Royals and had a solid career. Oh, Wentz wasn't that bad in mini last season, better than Jim. Yeah, JJ, yeah, absolutely. Wentz was already with the Vikings before, but got hurt, yes. Yep, 100%. All right. You're not going to admit your mistakes, but I'll admit mine. Wentz needs to retire. Let him collect another paycheck, I guess. Oh, Freddie Garcia. Oh, that was a mistake. Yeah. Freddie Garcia was a good pitcher before he came to Philly. Was it the White Sox or the Tigers? He had a couple of really good runs there, a couple good seasons. By the name of Cox, who tried to change our name to the Blue Jays and ended up getting a permanent ban for gambling. Jesus, I didn't even know that story. If they're still paying him, why not? Exactly. Somebody wants to pay you, keep taking that paycheck, right? Because that's what you got to do, right? Get that money, right? Phillies win 100 games because of great pay. I don't see 100 games. I don't see under 90. I think 90 and 72 is a perfect record prediction for the Phillies this year. Wentz is complete trash. He might be now. Come on, we're not that far away or long past that Carson Wentz changed the culture and energy in the city. We don't win our first Super Bowl without Carson Wentz. All right, you admit it. I've admitted I'm wrong 100 times, a million times. I'm more wrong than right. You can see Wentz and Kyler battling out for the starter position. It's all about who KC likes more, Kevin O'Connell, that is, as he usually prefers the taller pocket passer. But I can see him. Look, I think that's a great question. Who's the better quarterback? Carson Wentz or Kyler Murray? That's a lot closer than people will probably admit because Kyler Murray stinks. Utley, Rollins, Howard, all homegrown talent. Yeah, they were. Cole Hamels, you could throw him in there. Pat Burrow was on that team as well, for sure. But the current homegrown talent that we've got on this team, in Stott, in Bohm, in Nola, they haven't won jack shit here, okay? So homegrown talent, how much homegrown talent is winning World Series with the Dodgers right now? I don't care if it's homegrown talent or high-priced free agents. I just want to win, okay? That's all I want. Galvis, despite his low numbers, has one of the top clutch factor statistics in Philly, all time with Phillies. I mean, the guy was underappreciated for sure. Absolutely, I'm right on Wentz. Wentz gets such a bad racket here, and I get why. His personality did not resonate with the hardcore blue-collar fans of Philly. But, man, we don't have that first Super Bowl if it isn't for Carson Wentz. We don't. Carson Wentz was the odds-on betting favorite to win the MVP, not Tom Brady, before he tore his ACL, okay? And hell, giant killer, Boston Scott retired yesterday. 2019, early December, there was a Monday Night Football game in the snow. I was at it, at the Link, where Carson Wentz led us back and led us to a victory. With Boston Scott and Greg Ward as our leaders, skill sets, right? Carson Wentz still was a really solid quarterback, even in 2019. It was the hit by Jadeveon Clowney in the back of the head that effed him up, the biggest. Before Cox, we had Gary Newton. We're just going through the entire history of Phillies ownership now. Phil won't admit he's wrong about his college dorm room backdrop. I mean, you could just ask Brian O'Rourke in the chat the next time he's in the chat, but he's giving up on this show because he hates the Sixers so much, and that's the only sport he watches. Kyler sucks, but he's much better than Wentz. I don't know. Kyler Murray is pretty bad at quarterback. Wentz never altered the mental aspect of his game. Yeah, never matured it at all. Nooms for sure. 17 watching, 18 likes. They still need that number to go up more. Need that number to go up more. We do both those by that. The dumbest shit is trashy Wentz. Yeah, I mean, people love to do it. That's what Philly is. Let's get this channel out there. Everyone like and share. Let's go. Hey, appreciate it. I am famous. Up here, I am famous already in my own mind. Wentz didn't even play in the playoffs in 2017, and him being the reason they made the Super Bowl. We do not win. What was our record when he went down? Stop. That Philadelphia Eagles team would not have made the playoffs with Nick Foles starting the whole season. Nick Foles, a legend, one of the greatest, but nowhere near the quarterback that Carson Wentz ever was. He won 2 games in his career. 2 games. That's it, Nick Foles, okay? So Wentz was the reason we had the opportunity to get to the Super Bowl 1,000%. I believe, at least as a Philly, we're higher than Bobby. Well, Bobby Abreu was not clutch. Bobby Abreu is an interesting topic in Philly sports. He really is. Statistically speaking, was great. Borderline Hall of Famer. Not Hall of Famer, but borderline, right? But he just didn't resonate in Philly. He just didn't. Can't win with free agents. We don't have enough money to pay all the top free agents. I mean, we do have the money, Mr. John Middleton definitely has the money. He chooses not to spend that level. Made a new enemy on this day. Brian. Who? Brian O'Rourke. Yeah. O'Rourke had just texted me the other day. He hasn't even watched a second of Sixers basketball in so long. He didn't even know what's going on. Like, he's so frustrated he's turned sports off in his household. But he's the only one that could vouch for my dorm room because we were roommates in college. Before the Nugent there was, look, stop, elephant in the room. Which Philly sports team will shock us the most will be the Sixers or the bad. All that losing under Brett Brown amounted to nothing, yeah? That you ain't wrong. That you ain't wrong about. Jonathan, we battle a lot on this show, me and you. We disagree a lot, Jonathan. We don't disagree on this one at all. We're talking biggest F-ups. Keeping Brett Brown as long as we did. Massive F-up right there, right? Was Wentz better than McNabb? No, not at all. Could Wentz have been better than McNabb if the injuries didn't pile up? Yes, he could have been. He was just as mentally weak as McNabb. But McNabb had a longer, more successful career than Wentz, so he wasn't better. He might have had more physical tools than McNabb. But yeah, Philly's history is pretty crazy, honestly, Elephant. I've gone down that rabbit hole before. If Bobby Abreu wasn't allergic to the wall or grass, would he be the best outfielder of the Phillies of all time? Or no, he would. Yeah, or Ashburn would still be ahead of him. The problem is, everybody hates Bobby Abreu because he was the complete opposite of Aaron Rowan, right? That's the only reason why people hate Bobby Abreu. But I remember back in the day, I remember watching a Phillies game once during the Abreu era, and the announcers, I think it was Harry Cal still, at the time, put up stats. And at the time, there was a 3-year run that whatever the average numbers of home runs, doubles, triples, batting average, on base percentage, walks, all those things combined, it was Barry Bonds was number 1, Bobby Abreu was number 2. The most well-rounded hitter in baseball for like a 4-year period was Barry Bonds and Bobby Abreu. He just wasn't Aaron Rowan. He wasn't willing to run into a wall and break his face. That's why we hated him. I won 2 fantasy baseball leagues for money back in the day because my first-round pick both years was Bobby Abreu. No, not better than McNabb, but good enough not to trash. Yeah, exactly. Nick Foles doesn't get us to 11-2. You know what I mean? People that hate Wentz are Heathers and Satan. Oh, my God. I share all I appreciate that. Muchas gracias. Hit me up on Twitter as well if you want, Adam. At Beard A Knowledge. That's my Twitter account. Hit me up over there, my man. People that hate, well, I already put that one up there. Phil, let's not understate Foles either. I don't. Foles was a good quality quarterback. He was a great backup, one of the greatest backups in all time. But he was an average at best starter. I mean, after that was it the Dallas or the Raiders game that was 6-0 after Wentz went down. Let's not act like every Eagles fan was jumping up and down that Foles was now the starting quarterback. I remember finally a lot of people thought our season was over when Foles took over. People were talking about going out and signing. I forget who. People wanted people to come out and sign a different quarterback at that time. So let's not act like everybody knew what Foles was going to do against the Vikings and the Patriots. I'll save the Baker Bowl. Yeah. Save it for another slow day. McNabb with receivers who didn't suck. One of the all-time what-ifs. Yeah. If they did, the biggest F-up. Not finding a way to make McNabb and T.O. kiss and make up. Which would be a big F-up if we can't figure out a way for A.J. Brown and Jalen to kiss and make up if there's even a problem there. Wentz won Super Bowl, McNabb 0. That's true. Barry Sanders with an O-line. Whew. Man, I still remember when Barry Sanders retired, and I was like, what in the blue hell is this boy doing? Why in the world is he retired? And I just could not wrap my head around it. McNabb did go to the Super Bowl. He didn't win one, though. Chuck Klein, Ed Delaney, and Billy Hamilton are probably our best off-fielders of all time. Yeah, it's crazy. Barry Sanders with a team, with a different organization, period. Probably Chuck Klein, yeah. John Middleton will have to raise your ticket prices to pay for all the top. I mean, Adam said it yesterday. Standing room only tickets are going for $300 for opening day. I think that tells you all you need to know about ticket prices right now. I mean, we were all there for Chuck Klein's debut, right? The Raiders game Christmas night, I was there. It was Christmas night? I forgot about that. And that was on Christmas. Yeah, nobody was chanting Nick Foles as the greatest of all time. Nobody. Not at all. McNabb got to a Super Bowl once. His wide receivers weren't James Thrash and Torrance Small. Yeah, that was the year he had T.O., right? Go figure. You gave him weapons. Look what happened. Oh, nobody forgets that Foles threw 7 touchdowns against the Raiders. What we think and forget is that it was Chip Kelly's, debut. The NFL didn't catch up to Nick Foles or to Chip Kelly yet. What Chip Kelly was doing in the NFL was different. Hard to stop at a time. but it wasn't sustainable long term. Yeah, 7 touchdowns in a game. That's great. Remember some of those touchdowns? Who was the running back that year? He had a wide open running back on a wheel route because the Raiders had no idea what was going on. I'm not trying to knock Nick Foles at all, just so you know. Love Nick Foles. Brought us our first Super Bowl. But to say that we were getting to the Super Bowl and winning it in 17 without the first 13 games by Carson Wentz, that if Nick Foles was the starter from day one then, right? Let's even backtrack before that. Going into that season, Sam Bradford. Well, no, that was 2016. We still had Sam Bradford on the team. No way the Eagles go to the Super Bowl. Yeah, it was a well-coached situation, right? Well-coached team, well-coached situation. Okay? I wish I was alive and in Philly at the time within a 5-block radius, and you had 2 Triple Crown winners and Jimmy Fox of the A's and Chuck Klein of the Phillies. Yeah. Thou shall not nobody's disparaging BDN. Nobody. Okay? But to say that if you started the 2017 season with BDN and are 100% confident we get to the Super Bowl, I think that's a reach. That's all I'm saying. I think this is a spot-on comment. Dougie P outcoached Billy B. $300 for opening day standing room tickets, okay? Not seats, standing room. It's a bit ridiculous. The offense did run different. Absolutely. Not denying that one iota at all. It is what it is. Just saying it as I see it. That's all I'm doing. Calling it as I see it. This is exactly what they did. They were well coached, and they caught lightning in a bottle. They weren't lights out against the Falcons in the first round. Honestly, there's an argument to be made that if the refs could have called a PI on Jalen Mills on Julio Jones in the end zone, and we lose that game. We were one missed PI. Riley Cooper had 3 of those touchdowns versus the Raiders. God damn. Riley Cooper, man. Did not know we were talking Riley Cooper today. When I woke up at 7 a.m. when the alarm went off, I came down here and turned everything on. Did not think I'd see a Riley Cooper. Actually, didn't think I'd see back-to-back Riley Cooper comments in the chat. 281 comments so far. Did not think Riley Cooper was going to be mentioned twice today. You just never know what's going to come up on this show. At no point did I think the 17th season was over. I thought they were winning it after the Panthers game on the road. Refs did everything they could that game to help the Panthers, and they still won. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair statement. Mills definitely PI on that play, but the football gods were on our side. I mean, it's arguable. People debate it all the time. I'm with you. I think it was a PI that we got away with, right? Pushed him out of bounds, right? I don't think it was a catchable ball. I don't think it was catchable. I think it was too far out, but he definitely shoved Julio on that play. He fell after he was shoved. Now, the ball was not catchable, but there was definitely a shove there. Go watch it. He definitely has his arms on his hips while Julio's way up in the air. It didn't change immediately. It did not change overnight. Again, 6-0 game. Instantly. It took a few weeks till it started humming and hawing the way it did. I'm just like any Phillies fan, though, just wondering what we would be today if Charlie Ferguson never died of typhoid fever. Was spring training held in Cape May in 1888? I don't know if to believe some of your comments or not. I mean, that's interesting. The Green Goblin. Green Goblin's still out there playing football. He is. I mean, I don't know if he's on a roster yet for 26, but I know he was still out there playing football last year. The Green Goblin, Jalen Mills. One of the most overhyped Eagles players of all time. People loved him because of the name, because of the hair, because of the flair. But they bitched about him getting beat all the time. And then we needed somebody. It was a year or two ago, and Eagles fans wanted us to trade for him again. See, I remember it differently, Nooms, and so does Rick. Not that we haven't disagreed on these kind of things before, but I disagree. If I was sleepy at quarterback in 17, forget about it. If it was sleepy, oh my God, stop. If Sleepy was the quarterback in 17, we might have won 2 or 3 in a row. Green Goblin will be getting beat on sluggo routes when he's in his nursing home at 50. Yeah, probably. He's actually on the Jets roster right now. I thought he was a free agent, but yeah. Good for him on the Jets. Collecting another paycheck in 2026. Good for him. Nothing wrong with collecting paychecks, right? That's what we're talking about here. Nothing wrong with collecting paychecks at any point in your life, right? I mean, I could use a paycheck right now. That's all I know. I could use a paycheck someday. This has been interesting. This has been a very interesting show today. I'm not going to deny that. Very interesting show today. Jalen Mills was a quality red zone cornerback. Yeah, because I guess you can't really get beat too bad in the red zone. Like, they can't take the top over you, I guess. Chase Daniels collected paychecks. Chase Daniels probably still is collecting paychecks. Probably, Adam. That ain't going to stop for another 30 years. Who collects more paychecks, Chase Daniels or Bobby Bonilla? I mean, seriously. I don't think I'm out of line even saying that. Let me run through some of these other comments on this thread. Is Bryce Harper getting old, or is his approach at the plate wrong? How about the fact that 2 Philly teams are playing in March Madness? Yes, Penn and Villanova. Should have traded Embiid. Yes, we should have. Sean Mannion. Incorporating more wide zone. Help Juergens get on track. UFC, what happened to the UFC? Can Darius Cooper, get snaps in this rotation? Phillies will be bouncing the wild card. Yeah. Has the Eagles used? Well, has the tush push been part of the problem with this offensive line? Just some of them. Riley Cooper thinks he's a tough guy. If I wasn't an old man like Phil, I'd challenge him. Yeah, I'm an old man. I know I am. And he's definitely a character that said some very inappropriate things. It's always interesting. This show is always interesting. Chase Daniels and Sammy Sleeves cracked the code, yes. Bryce the Princess. Watch out for Miami, Ohio team. They got something going here. I'm going to see if I can find a way to find my bracket very easily on this computer here. The Y9 was horrible, yeah. Even the teams bore me. Let me see. I think I shared it on Twitter, my bracket. Let's see if I could find it here. All right, here's my bracket. It's not the greatest of screenshot, but this was my bracket that I did. My zero research bracket. There is my. This is for sure not going to go wrong. There's your soundboard. Okay. Yeah, I got Michigan in the finals, but I got them losing. No, that's not the one I was looking for. There, that was the one I was looking for. Hot take. I keep seeing with Ruben Frank and Dave is prediction on Willen's interceptions because he's going to see the ball get thrown his way a lot. Yeah, I mean, he will get the ball thrown his way, and he's an upgrade over Dory Jackson. So maybe he gets a few interceptions. Maybe. It's possible, for sure. I don't know, but he will. Maybe he gets 2 or 3. I don't think that's a bold take or anything like that. I posted my bracket on my page. Check it out. I will. Like I said, I didn't even know who was in the March Madness bracket till last night at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock or when did I make this post? 8:43 I made this post. So in the 8 o'clock hours when I finally learned who was in March Madness. Most people that do sports show research, but who am I to judge? I don't watch college basketball. So I was supposed to do research on a sport that I don't care about? That's what I say about that. Love college basketball, especially in person. I just kind of lost interest in it. Outright or locked in? This is locked in. Brackets are like mock drafts. Everyone's wrong. and nobody cares after the fact. Exactly. I will say this, K1. You only get to fill out one bracket, okay? People that fill out 27 brackets, and then, oh, look at my bracket. It's perfect. No. This is the one and only, and that's it. That's all I do, one and only. It's a pain in the ass to get a pro arena set for college game. Anyone know why? No, I do not. Phil's soundboard, yeah. Yeah. March Madness is always fun, though. It is. And I'll watch some of it today, probably. At Beard A Knowledge. At Beard A Knowledge. That's my Twitter account right there. But this is my, like, am I totally off board with this? You might not be the oldest in the chat, Robert. You're probably up there. I feel old. I look old, but I'm only 45. The first March, I got into college basketball. What year was it? Was it 92? That Eric Montross led North Carolina, beat the Fab Five? It was like 6th, 7th grade for me that year. And that was the first March Madness bracket I ever filled out. And it was $5. Everybody in our class put in $5 and did one. Yes, Catholic school gambling in 6th grade. I get it. That was my first bracket. And I was the only one in my class that picked North Carolina over the Fab Five. I got to get on Twitter. You should. It's fun. It's annoying, but it's fun. Got into college basketball because of the Fab Five. I got into college basketball because I picked against the Fab Five. 61. Yeah, you're not that old. 61's the new 51, Robert. Right? Relax. It's okay to be old. Age is nothing but a number. It's how you feel. I feel like I'm 61. I ain't gonna lie. I really do feel like I'm 61 some days. It's true. It's true. Gambling is one of the least objectionable Catholic. Yeah, exactly. 13 years of Catholic school. I know all about it. So, yeah, that's Catholic school right there for you. Let's see here. I'm going to take this off the screen. I hate how it shrinks my screen. Not what you guys see on my tab, so I'm taking that off there for now. 61, not too old if you take, yeah, exactly. I didn't take care of myself. It's the restaurant life. I might still have Michigan Chris Webber jersey somewhere. That's cool. Yeah, restaurant, 30 years in the restaurant business, Fast Talk, that's what it does to you, okay? In a pro arena, you have to cover every single advertisement in the entire arena, including taping up the Morton ads on every single step in the arena. Do you? I did not know that. Why is that? I did not know that. That's interesting. Not even sure. You learn something new every day. That's all I'll say about that. You learn something new every day. Feel 28, but see, that's the complete opposite. You didn't spend 30 years busting your hump in a kitchen on a line, you know, running around bartending and serving and doing everything else. I mean, you know anything about Anthony Bourdain and any of his videos and shows and stuff like that, and talk about the alcohol and the drugs in restaurant business. It's why restaurant workers break down the way they do. Plain and simple. And when you own one for 18 years, just times it by 10. It's basically what it is. It depends for men's instead of boxers. Yeah. I'm not there yet. Not there yet. Tell us your teams. Does value ring a bell? What? Cuts, burn, drama. Yeah. I've been burned more time than I can imagine. I cut my thumb off at one point. The drama, my God. In your heart of hearts, do you believe Chris Webber took a payoff to call that BS timeout? I've never even been asked that. I never thought about it. Maybe, but probably not. Just a dumb college kid that made a mistake. Is that something that people actually talk about? I'm not a Michigan guy, so I don't know. So I would say no. Doesn't look a day over 30 or 50. Yeah, that's my line. I agree with you. I was in the restaurant business for most of my life. Yeah, it wears on you. I hear you, brother. Yeah, we can agree on that. We can see eye to eye on that, right? College game arenas are not allowed to have advertisements. They're allowed to pay their players, but they're not allowed to have advertisements. Okay, that makes a lot of sense to me. The rewards are great, but it takes a toll. It takes a toll. I don't think the rewards are worth the toll it takes anymore. If I could go back to college me, okay, when I changed my major from communications, broadcast journalism to restaurant management, I would smack 18-year-old me in the face and be like, get your ass back to communications class. All right? If I could. It's funny. Communications major turned restaurant manager, major turned restaurant owner, right? And it took till 2020 till I got back into sports content and sports like stuff. Could have started in 1999. God only knows where I'd be right now. I'd probably be working in a restaurant still. But anyway, all right, we're coming to the end of the show here today. We're coming to the end of the line. Tomorrow on this show, we will run our very first Eagles mock draft. Every week from now till the draft on Fridays will be Friday mock draft, okay? Tomorrow it's going to be a no-trade mock draft. You guys, I'm not even going to show you the trades that the site offers. We're just going to pick based off of who's available, okay? Yeah, I probably would have gotten a trade too as well, for sure. Or learn computers better too. Thank you very much. I wanted to be a lumberjack. Did you? I probably would have just joined the union with my dad is what I would have done probably. Anyway, even though it was a weak union. So that's tomorrow, okay, on this show, mock draft, plus whatever other news comes out today. We'll start with the mock draft. We'll continue on all these conversations. We'll see where it goes. We'll see what happens. But as always, you have to hit the like button, subscribe button, share button. You have to tell your friends. We have to boom here. We're at 1,058 subscribers now. Every day we gain 1, 2. A couple days we gain 3 or 4. We got to continue booming and busting this channel up. Got to. Got to do what we got to do, people. But we're going to wrap this one up today. So everybody have a great Thursday. Enjoy March Madness. If you're going out, be safe. Do what you got to do. But for now, everybody have a great Thursday. Go Birds. Bubbles up.